The more you know, the better you actually do. Kia ora na sa lahat ng mga nanonood and watching us right now. And this week, we're actually celebrating Cook Island Language Week. And I'm Judy. I'm back to our home buying tips in New Zealand. And this is episode 85. Tonight's episode is a little bit different from the previous one. Of course, my podcast partner, Marianne, hopefully Celestine will get better soon. She won't be able to join us as her little one. Celestine is so unwell. Well, please send some warm thoughts to Celestine. Hopefully, she will get better very soon. But don't worry, I'll still take you through just a very short but valuable discussion on a topic that's very real for many of us, especially to those who are planning to buy a home or already are having a home right now. Yes, hang on a minute. I'm just moving some of my um, tabs here. Right, episode 85, The Burden of Having a Mortgage. What is really the real cost of having a home loan? Last week, we talked about the benefits of owning a home in New Zealand, like stability, freedom to renovate, investment potential, and the priceless feeling of security, something that you feel like this is my own and you can leave it to your children or to your grandchildren, however you like. And if you haven't seen it yet, we will add the link to make sure you can watch the replay yeah, in the comment section later because I'm on at the moment. But tonight we're focusing on the flip side, the challenges and responsibilities that come with it. So, what does it really mean to have a mortgage? I haven't heard of someone buying their home yet in New Zealand for the first time, especially totally free of debt. Mostly because it's very expensive, especially here in Auckland. So, a lot of us would buy through the bank, and a big portion of it is, of course, owned by the bank because you're borrowing money from the bank, right? So, ano ibig sabihin when you have your mortgage? Let's just talk you through the five, probably, I'd say. I've prepared five things here that really mean a lot to those who are thinking of buying a home or those who are already having a home, like myself. So basically, this is just based on my experience, from the experiences of my friends who have been sharing their thoughts with me as well. And I'm just sharing it with you guys so you will have an idea. How does it really feel when you're having your own load? One, weekly, but mostly it's fortnightly in our case, fortnightly, but others are choosing opting monthly payment. So that's weekly or monthly pressure. You're locked into payments for 20 to 30 years. Yes, I think the maximum is 30 years. And that's already a long commitment, right? And for some families, it becomes a financial strain, especially during interest rate hikes. And we felt that in 20, starting 20, no, when we bought this, it was just around, the interest was around less than 4%. And then the following year, it increased. And the following year, it increased again until the highest one that was almost 7 was last year. So we felt the pain. You will really feel the pain when the interest increases each time. And the 7% was really too much for us. We were already paying, uh, um, yeah, 1,000 plus a week because of the high interest rate. But previously, it was just around 700. So it's like $200 on top of, no, less than 200 on top of the payment, the rent fee that we were having previously. So it's I couldn't say it's fixed. Probably when you fix your repayment, then that's good for one. 2 or 3 years, but in our case, it was 1 year. So yeah, there you have it. The first one is the fortnightly or the monthly pressure. Really have to pay for it. Number two, interest is not a joke. You'll be happy if it go down, but if it doesn't, and over time, you can end up paying hundreds of thousands more just in interest when it goes up. So at the moment, the interest rate has gone down, but not as low as in 2020 for something at the moment. So yeah, not as much as seven, almost 7 or 8 last year. So if you are not careful, you could get trapped in paying more interest than principal in the early years. So last year we were only paying very little, like only a few bucks to our principal. So we're paying mostly the interest if the interest rate increases. So if the interest rate is really low, you need don't lower your repayments. My advice is to top up on your repayments. Pay a bit more so that your principal amount that you've borrowed will decrease. In other words, so the lower your principal is, the lower your interest will be. Yeah. So yeah, number three, lifestyle limitations. Of course, you lessen your going out, your travel, your shopping, and maybe you're giving away. If you're fond of giving so much stuff to friends and families, especially sending money back home to the Philippines, you will have to limit that once you have your mortgage. Of course, other people will be like, "Oh, I've got a valid reason now not to send money back to the Philippines anymore," especially if you've been sending for a long time. So use that as a valid reason to say, "Oh, sorry guys, I'm a little bit tight at the moment because I have my mortgage already." You won't feel guilty that you are not sending much because you have a valid reason. And in a way, you could say that it's a good thing, right? But then again, if kind of you have a responsibility to send money back home, especially when your parents or your close family member is sick, it's quite hard when you have a mortgage already. So that is something that you'll have to think about. If you have, say, you're living here with your wife and some of your kids, and you still have other children living in the Philippines, that you are obliged to send money back home. Kind of weigh up things. Maybe I would say bring them over here so that your expenses are just, you can, I mean, just in one country, if you get what I mean. Yeah. So that's the third one. The fourth will be your maintenance. Maintenance will be your problem because whatever repairs or any trouble in the house, you'll have to shoulder it. It's your own already. You can't ring your landlord. You don't have a landlord anymore. You don't need, you don't have to call anyone else and ask about the repairs or any renovations. It's all up to you now. Unlike renting, you have the landlord, of course, they're obliged to do some repairs, or if something breaks, maybe you can halve the expenses if it's your fault, or if it's natural wear and tear, then it's more likely to be the responsibility of the landlord. But this time, if it's your own, that's on you. Repairs, renovations, the rates, it all adds up. And talking about the rates, this is like a tax, I would say. Parang hindi naman, but kind of. So regularly, this is a yearly rate. And since we bought our house in 2020, I've noticed that our rates keep going up. Previously, it was 1.5 or 1.6 when we started. Now we've gone up to 2, a little bit over 2 now. So that's one thing you got to consider as well. You're not just paying the mortgage to the bank, but you also are having other expenses like the yearly rates. So in my case, because if you forget paying it on time, you will also have to pay the penalty. So I decided to have the installment, not installment, but a weekly payment of it. And I have it set up through the Auckland Council so that I won't miss any payment anymore. Oh, parang sinasabi na um, do an automation of your daily expenses if you have to, so that in my case I don't have to worry about the other stuff and I can just focus on what I need to focus on. So yun, maintenance will be your own problem once you have your own home. And another one, the fifth one, would be the market risks. Yeah, you're thinking about long-term investment. When you're talking about long-term, then I would say property investment is always good. But if all of a sudden you need money and the house market is down, that means the house prices is low, and you will have to sell your house to get some money out of it. You probably won't get money out of it. You'll probably be losing if the market is down. So the value of your property could go down, up and down. While it's rare, especially in the long term, like what I said, in the long run, there will always be a benefit. But if suddenly you have a change of mind, yeah, it could be a possibility, especially when you buy your house at the peak during the peak season. What is that? Peak market. And that was in 2022, 23. Yep, the house prices were really up. Now, from those years, now the house prices have gone down. But compared to 2020 where we bought our house, hindi pa siya bumaba up to that stage. And I don't think it's gonna get to that stage anymore. Anyway, yeah, have I covered almost everything? Apart from the ones that we have already discussed before, the other costs and expenses when you're buying a home, I've mentioned already the rates. Insurances is something that you have to consider. We've kind of touched that topic as well in our previous episodes. So if you've missed them, or if you want to have a look at our other episodes, because this is now episode 85, feel free to have a look at our YouTube channel, our playlist, Home Buying Tips in New Zealand, and specifically quite a guide to those people who are still new to the New Zealand market, especially the policies. Please do check out our videos, watch them during your free time or while you are doing other chores at home. You will learn a lot from it, and I would say you are more prepared when you're ready to buy a home. In fact, you'll start preparing yourself so that when the time comes, you are stable emotionally and financially, because this is a very big decision to make. So, pretty much to have a quick recap. Oh, we're going to be quick because I also have another session right after this. So, a recap on the real cost of buying or having your own home. The weekly, fortnightly, or monthly payment, that's really a pressure. The interest can also put further pressure on you when you are not ready, especially when things happens or change, like lose a job, or you want to have a break. Oh, so basically you don't have an income, or you have an additional member of the family like a baby, that can add burden to it if you're already having a home. And the third that we've just discussed, lifestyle limitations. For me, it's easy because hindi naman ako mahilig sa shopping online probably. I mean, I try to control myself. Number four, the maintenance is now your own. And the fifth one, is the market risk. So, from our discussion last week and to our discussion this week, although it's shorter because Marianne is not with me, she would be able to give us more inputs if she's here. But we'll see what she's going to share with us next week. I'm pretty sure there's a lot when she turns up. Hopefully, everything goes well with her family. And there you have it, everybody. I really hope in just a short while you are able to learn something. And I hope this is not scaring you. Instead, it should prepare you. Home ownership is a wonderful goal, especially to us Filipinos, right? We want to have something to call our own, but it must be done wisely. And knowing both the good and the bad helps you become a smart buyer, not just an emotional one. I'm just thankful that we were so lucky. We were blessed to buy at least a little bit cheaper house that time, because if we bought during the the peak season, the peak year, the peak I forgot the term, the peak market, then we would be struggling right now. Bye. That's it for tonight. A short but necessary reflection. Let me know in the comment section or chat with me. What do you find most challenging about having a mortgage? Or yeah, if especially if you're having your own mortgage now. I know quite a few of the teachers who came to New Zealand in 2021, those who were able to get residency through the one-off residency of the government, they were able, some of them I've heard have bought their own home already. And previously they were asking me on how to. And yeah, I would like to hear from you. How is it going? How do you feel the market now, or your lifestyle? Has it changed? Or yeah, things like that. Just feel free to comment or flick me a message. I would like to hear from you. And what do you wish you knew before signing your loan papers? Well, I really hope you've watched all our episodes if possible, so that you are more prepared. And we don't really want you to sign a paper, especially to get into a contract without understanding fully what is in the contract. Please educate yourself. I'm also educating myself in other aspects aside from the home buying investment in New Zealand, especially in business. Ooh, I've made so many mistakes, and those mistakes are quite expensive. I'll share them with you as soon as I have my free time, just crafting the thoughts. Next week, we'll continue with a guest. Hopefully, we'll be able to tap another guest to share with us about more about home buying. And until then, stay warm, stay wise, and remember, being prepared doesn't mean you're fearful. It just means you're responsible. Maraming salamat po, and kita-kits next time on our Home Buying Tips podcast every Wednesday night. Metake? Oh no. Kakite.